What is a past moment from your own career, from television or film, a scene, a shot, an emotional beat that now you most wish that you could have been on the other side of the camera for, to know what it would have been like to have directed that particular moment?
Oh wow. Well, that's a question I've got to compute.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Mr. Romano, an honor to see you again, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. My co-writer Mark Stegman is a Chicago native.
No wonder this movie was so good.
Well, also Laurie Metcalf is a Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
we got a lot of angles in there. But seriously, the film is absolutely phenomenal, sir. Please continue to write and direct more projects because it was absolutely an incredible film. I'm going to jump into this because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I know that there are so many aspects of this movie that kind of point to this idea that it's both funny and frustrating when your parents kind of meddle in your business when you're a kid. But I honestly really do think that we should all be so lucky to have parents that care that much to do that. So when you were breaking into comedy, which is a very tough profession to succeed in, what's the most your parents ever got involved to kind of help you succeed?
Well, my father would hit me. That made a comedian out of me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I didn't know if I could laugh at that.
No. My father was a lot like the father in this movie. He had trouble expressing emotion, and he was very undemonstrative. My mother was just the opposite. My mother was a piano teacher, and she, did everything she could for us. She forced us to take piano lessons. She was on top of me to stay in school and go to study. And so I had both of those things. I had the feeling of maybe I'm missing a little validation from my father figure, and I had this loving mother, and it gets in there and it mixes up, and when I started doing stand up, my mom wasn't that excited that I maybe wasn't going to go to college, but she was always, the glass was always half full with her. With my father, the glass was broken, and so she would encourage me quite a bit. My father struggled with that, but I think I got my sense of humor from my father, and I think I got my creativity a little bit more from my mom, because she went to Juilliard. She was studying to be a concert pianist. I always thought it was my father where all my showbiz came from, because he had a real dry sense of humor. But in hindsight, I think it was more my mom, to be honest with you.
It's an interesting mix that yielded obviously a lot of great stuff for all of us. This might be a silly question, but now that you have seen what it takes to be a director, you've seen it from literally the other side of the camera, and the fulfillment that you get from that. What is a past moment from your own career, from television or film, a scene, a shot, an emotional beat that now you most wish that you could have been on the other side of the camera for, to know what it would have been like to have directed that particular moment?
Oh wow. Well, that's a question I've got to compute. Well, I never had the desire to direct one of my sitcom episodes. I was still involved. I was too involved with the in the writers' room and all that. And Phil Rosenthal was running the show, and he had it under control. And if anything came about that wasn't under control, I would tell him, and he would go fix it. So I never really felt that need, and it was a 4-camera. It was different. It wasn't until we did Men of a Certain Age, after that I realized how much more work it is, the difference between a 4-camera thing and a single camera. And I never directed a Men of a Certain Age, And I probably, in hindsight, I wish I would have taken that on, because it was also what I created it with, I co-created it. And I was still a little scared to take that on, but it was a show that I was so passionate about, and I feel like I'm saying this now, and I may change my mind, because I have gotten offers to direct, believe it or not, just from this, and people haven't even seen it, and I've gotten little offers, and I don't feel like I have the desire to direct anything that I don't write and I don't feel is organic or passionate about. I may change my mind about that, but I had that opportunity with Men of a Certain Age, and I didn't take it. And I now that I've experienced what directing was, I kind of wish I had gotten into it then. And would that have made me a better director now? I don't know. But it would have been less nerve-wracking, because it was very stressful taking on directing in this project until we started doing it. Once we started doing it, I grew into it, and I enjoyed it, actually. I don't even know if I answered your question.
No, you absolutely did. You absolutely did. They're giving me the wrap. I've got 10,000 more questions, but I got to tell you, I know you worked with the great Martin Scorsese. There were moments in this, particularly around the dinner table, where I just thought, man, he learned something from Scorsese. Man.
Oh, thank you.
So, man, seriously, I just want to say I'm such
you know
a fan
what
of
you know
yours,
what Scorsese said? He said the most important part of directing is casting, and so that I learned from him also.
There you go.
You know, you get the right cast, and you look like a pretty good director. Yeah.
Well, you're a damn good director, man. Particularly the leading man in this was fantastic. He's really great.
Yeah. He was a horror to work with. Yeah.
Hey, dude, I'm such a fan, man. I've been a fan for many years, and thank you for always being so great to me, man. I really appreciate you.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Take care. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you. You too.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.